All right, everybody, happy Friday. In this Think Aloud, I'm going to focus on analyzing how a writer uses syntax and diction to achieve their purpose. Because it's a Think Aloud, you have one important task. You're going to pay attention to my thinking steps and you're going to document my thinking steps in your Google document for this part of the lesson. So you should have your Google Doc open on one side of your screen and this video on the other side of your screen. I'm going to do the thinking, you're going to do the jotting. But before we get started, I just want to make one quick note. Diction and syntax, these are some of my favorite rhetorical choices. They're super fun. But when you're writing a chunk, a rhetorical analysis paragraph, an essay, you never ever say the author uses diction or the author uses syntax. And you might say, well, why not, Miss Simpson? And the answer is because it's basic. Okay? Because diction just means word choice and syntax just means the order of words. So guess what? Everybody uses them. So instead of saying that, we really want to characterize an author's diction and an author's syntax. And that's going to be the focus of our Think Aloud today. So I'm going to be focusing on paragraphs 7 through 9 of JFK's inaugural address. Go ahead and pause this video for a minute or two if you need to go ahead and reread or skim these 3 paragraphs. Awesome. I think you paused it. If you didn't, you're ready to keep it moving. We're going to be focusing in on zooming in on our choices so that we can then zoom out on the impact on our audience and our purpose. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to do this in 3 thinking steps. The first step, I need to zoom in. I need to identify some choices or some patterns that I see happening in the text. I went ahead and highlighted in 3 different colors, 3 different choices that I saw JFK making. The first one, I noticed that he starts every paragraph with "to those." And then he follows that "to those" with a specific audience. After he does that, each of these paragraphs also includes the words "we pledge." And then after that "we pledge," he states something that he and America are going to keep doing. So that's one choice that I found. The second thing that I highlighted in red was I noticed there's some interesting choice of words here and some interesting sentence structure. Because he uses phrases like "host of cooperative ventures." That doesn't really sound conversational and like everyday language, even though I know he's talking to a lot of ordinary Americans. So that kind of stuck out to me. I also want to think about things like with syntax, punctuation, right? And I noticed that each paragraph ends its final sentence with a dash included. And after that dash, he makes some type of strong concluding phrase about the future of America and the future of the world. So now I've done step 1. I've identified 3 choices. Now I need to kind of dig in a little bit deeper and think about what might some of these choices mean, right? Like how could I describe them or characterize them? So the first thing I noticed is this one "to those." And we already talked about anaphora this morning. And so I know that that's an anaphora because every paragraph starts the same, right? I've got some anaphora here. This is also parallel structure because every paragraph starts the same. Then that strange diction I said that didn't sound very conversational that I highlighted in red, it's not conversational, so it feels very formal to me, right? A host of cooperative ventures. That's not how people talk in everyday language. Then this dash here, it ends with this kind of powerful concluding action that he plans on taking and that he wants us as Americans and people listening to his speech to take, right? So now I've characterized my 3 choices. I've got some anaphora, some repetition, some formal diction, and more parallel structure at the end here with this dash and these powerful calls to action. Okay, well, that's cool and all, but now I've got to figure out, why did Kennedy make these choices? Why did he want to include that anaphora or that formal diction or that dash at the end in the parallel structure? Why did he want to make that choice? And then I need to ask myself, why would this choice be convincing given his audience, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know why he wanted to use that formal non-conversational diction. It doesn't really make sense to me. The structure is kind of odd. He starts the sentence with an adjective instead of our usual subject, verb, object sentence structure. I don't know why he would want to do that. And that's okay because it's normal not to know everything you see. You're not going to be able to analyze and figure out everything you see. I also am not really sure why he needs the dash at the end. I get that parallel structure helps to repeat and stamp an idea, but I don't really know if that was his purpose because each idea was different. So I can't really analyze that either. But I do know how to talk about anaphora because we've been talking about that in class this morning. And I know that anaphora is a very unifying structure, right? It ties ideas together and it kind of either makes things equal or it includes them, right? It binds everything together. So I can see why he would want to bind each of his ideas in these three separate paragraphs together with this kind of unifying syntax. So now I'm going to go over my response to this question to you. So when analyzing this section, I said, in this section, Kennedy's audience includes nations that are either old allies or new countries that might become allies, and the United States neighbors in Mexico, Central, and South America. By starting each paragraph in the same way, Kennedy puts all these countries on an equal level. So he's showing respect for everybody, right? Suggesting that the US will equally respect the dignity of all of these countries. Kennedy hopes to make leaders and citizens of these countries from the UK to Honduras eager to work with him in the US by claiming that he will consider all of their perspectives in his decision making. So I was able to name why Kennedy made that choice and think about why it might be effective for his audiences, right? Why every country might want to feel valued, seen, and respected in his speech by unifying and tying all of them together. So now you're going to jump into independent practice and you're going to try to follow these three thinking steps on your own. At this point in your notes, you should have all three thinking steps jotted down. Feel free to rewatch the video if you were not quite paying attention the whole time.